Hi retro gamers, how are you doing? If you saw any of my previous videos, you know that I love RPGs and the Grandia franchise. My favorite from the series is Grandia 2. It was the first Grandia I played and still today my favorite. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little about the game and try to make a quick resume of the story and some characters. The game is set in the fantasy world thousands of years after the battle between Granas, the god of light, and Valmar, the god of darkness. The fight nearly destroyed the planet, until Valmar was split into pieces and scattered across the land. In the aftermath of the battle, the Church of Granas had led humanity to prosperity by spreading the word of good. But when a young mercenary named Ryudo is charged to protect a sister from the church named Elena, the journeys read as well as the history of the world, if not what it seems. What I love most about the Grandia, and that made me addictive, was the battle system. Grandia 2 have a unique battle system. The battles are turn-based battle system, similar to Final Fantasy series. The game supports limited movement during battle. Characters can run around or strike opponents and then retreat. Depending on the timing, a player character or enemy can cancel an opponent move, block, use magic, and many battle abilities. The game have a bar in the bottom right of the screen, and we can see when our character and the enemies are going to make a move. Also, what I love in the franchise, and it was new for me at the time, was unlike the Final Fantasy franchise or the Skies of the Arcadia, for example, and many other RPGs, the Grandia series don't have random enemies encounters. Instead, enemies are visible in the world, and we can choose to fight or avoid them. We are never obligated to fight, and we can explore the world more freely. Grandia was very successful in the Dreamcast and later in the PlayStation 2. I don't know if it was a coincidence, but after Grandia 2, all Final Fantasy dropped the random encounters and started using this system. When I played Final Fantasy XII for the first time, I almost have the feeling of playing Grandia. The voices of our characters are great, and I also love the music. Please listen to this. Remind me of Led Zeppelin. The characters are the best in my opinion in any RPG. I also love Final Fantasy IX characters or Chrono Trigger characters, but Grandia 2 was my first RPG, and I fell in love with Ryudo, Milena, Elena, Yu, Gohan, Marek, Melphis, Gata, and many more. Ryudo is the main character. He's a geohound, a person hired to complete a job regardless of what they think or what their moral judgment is. He's cynical and pessimist. He only focuses on completing any job he is hired for. His traveling companion is a falcon, Sky. In the beginning of the game, we left with the idea that Ryudo is cold, rude, arrogant character, but in fact is only a 17 years old boy who suffered a lot in life, who lost people he loved, his parents, his brother, and was expelled from the village that he was born and abandoned by all his friends. That's why he isolated himself and shows no feeling to anyone. Elena is a sister of Granas and a talent vocalist. She is kind and caring and always in high spirits, which sometimes can be rather irritating to Ryudo. She hopes to spread the teachings of Granan to the words and songs. Elena is possessed by the winds of Valmar, and several times during the game, Milena takes over Elena's body, gaining control of it, but with the malicious spirits and winds, the winds of Valmar. Milena is the opposite to Elena in every sense of the word. Elena looks like that blonde, gorgeous, nice and polite girl from school that we all like to introduce to our parents. And Milena is that crazy, irresponsible bad girl that makes us go crazy. And we love her that way and be with her. She's the one that we all like to date, but no way we could introduce that nuts to our parents. Milena is probably my second favorite character in any RPG, after Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII. I love Milena so much that I did this to my original Dreamcast copy. I went to take it off one time, but I did that when I was a kid, and these things remind me of my childhood, so I did it that way. I'm not going to describe all the characters so the video doesn't take too long, but the other characters, Tio, Rowan, Marek, are also excellent characters and all had good background story. One of the main villains is also my favorite villain in any RPG. Melphis, Ryudo's older brother. Melphis grew up with Ryudo in the Isle of Swordman and was raised by the village chief following the loss of their parents. Training in the way of the sword, Melphis became the best swordman the village had ever seen, inspiring Ryudo and the entire village. Melphis was possessed by the worms of Balmer and displayed two distinct personalities. Before he was possessed, he was a kind and friendly young man who sought the power of to improve every day to fight evil. As possessed, Melphis is cold, arrogant and a sadistic killer. All the scenes between Melphis and Ryudo are heartbreaking. The game is not very long, that's why I finished 3 times in my Dreamcast, 4 times in the Steam, and 1 in my Nintendo Switch. We take maybe 35 hours to beat. I always take much longer because I love to level up the characters, level up all the magics, and all battle abilities. The bosses always crack their pants when they see me. I love all Grandias. Grandia 1 and 3 are also very good games. It's a shame that the Grandia collection did not include the third one. I really recommend this game to any RPG lover, or for anyone that loves a good game with a good story. Even if you're not a RPG fan, I'm sure that you're gonna love this one. Not just because of the story, but mainly because of the outstanding and addictive gameplay. So gamers, did you play any Grandia game? Which one is your favorite? And which one is your favorite RPG? Thanks for watching the video, I hope you like it.